Namaskarams to all of you. We are very happy to bring to you a thematic concert today. Eka kriti ragas of Sri Thyagaraja. This concert will feature those ragas in which Sri Thyagaraja has composed only one kriti. Before we move on to the theme itself, we will be presenting an invocation to Sri Thyagaraja, extolling his greatness as a devout Rama Bhakta and as a Vagyekara par excellence. Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satadam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satadam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satadam Chintayami Sada Sadgurum Varenyam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satadam Chintayami Sada Sadgurum Varenyam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satatam. Shri Rama Nama Dhyana Dana Shri Rama Nama Dhyana Dana Shilam Shri Rama Nama Dhyana Dana Shilam Shri Naradasham Nada Swarupam Shri Naradasham Nada Swarupam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satatam Chintayami Sada Sadgurum Varenyam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satatam. Bhavaraga Tala Bhavaraga Tala Bhavita Sangita Sevagara Pujam Sadbhakti Samrajam Bhavaraga Tala Bhavita Sangita Sevagara Pujam Sadbhakti Samrajam Sarupya Samipya Salokya Sayuja Sarupya Samipya Salokya Sayuja Sakshakaram Tam Shashagam Vande Sakshakaram Tam Shashagam Vande Vararaya Chidanayakam Swararaga Sudara Sapanakam Narasosta Virakta Sudayakam Karaharapriya Kriti Varadayakam Swarabhushanam Pridubhashanam Hitadoshanam Pritadoshanam Swaranavam Sangita Sudanavam Manasa Shirasa Vajasa Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satatam Chintayami Sada Sadgurum Varenyam Shri Thyagaraja Swaminam Satatam. This song that we sang today as the invocation has been composed by Ghadam Vidwan Shri S. Karthik, and he is well known to you all as an exemplary musician as well as a Vagyekara. Today is going to be probably the first of its kind concert, I would say, because I would like to clarify the fact that earlier many people have done demonstrations on Vintaragas, concerts based on Vintaragas. But today we have taken up a different theme of where we have only one kriti in a particular raga composed by Thyagaraja. So if you look at the whole body of work that Sri Thyagaraja has done, we could say that he is the supreme architect of the kriti form. And apart from that, he has composed the Divyanamam, Utsava Sampradayam, and the two operas that we know of are Prahalada Bhakti Vijayam and Nauka Charitram. And both from the Sangeeta and the Sahitya point of view, we see that there is so much that he has offered to the music world. And we could probably say that in this context, there is hardly any ragam that he has not handled. Here I would like to again make a mention about the Vinta ragas. He himself has made a mention of this word Vinta in the kriti Mitri Bhagyame in Karaharapriya. He has made a mention of this word. And subsequently we see that Professor Sambamurthy also makes a mention of this particular Vinta ragas, and he gives a definition that Vinta ragas are the rare ragas which were created by Thyagaraja. So when the concept of creation comes, obviously we have to understand that it does not refer to the Melagartha ragas, but the janyas or the offshoots which have come from them. So in this context, we could say that very interestingly, among the 72 melas that we have, Thyagaraja has used about 50 melas and they are janyas. And in total, in that corpus of about 675 compositions that he has given to us, it is said that there are many more, but what is available to us authentically is about 675. And in that we see that he has used about 210 ragas that he has used. And in that there are about 82 Vinta ragas. And the topic of our presentation today of one kriti in one particular ragam, for that there are statistics of about 116 ragas. I am not giving an accurate figure because of the fact that there are some compositions which are supposed to be spurious in the sense that debatable whether Thyagaraja did compose them. So approximately if you look at around that, there may be a few plus and minus here there. So that is going to be the theme of our today's concert. And on a larger canvas, if you look, we see that in the what we call as the great ragas, the big ragas of Carnatic music like Todi, Kambodi, Kalyani, Shankarabharanam and others, he has given us the complete picture through various compositions. So where you see that different facets get captured through each composition. Then also we see that in the rare ragas like Devamritavarshini or Chitranjani, he has composed again many compositions. Some ragas like Bahudari, Shenju Kambodi, Dilipagam, Garudadhwani, Kokiladhwani, Saramati, Suposhini, Vijayshri. These are all very interesting ragas because of the fact that the Sangeeta Ratnakara, which is one of the main treatises to give us a list of all the combinations of ragas, even in this we are not able to find the names of these ragas. So it is said that these are all probably purely the creation of Sri Thyagaraja himself. Here again, a very important point for us to understand is how does Thyagaraja stand tall as a creator of these ragas? Any human being for that matter, through permutation combination, we can create multiple scales. So creating scales through permutation combination is not any big achievement. We need a good composition to give shape to that scale and to give it that status of a raga. So that way, that is where Thyagaraja stands tall, where he did create so many scales, turned them into ragas. And as I always say, a composition freezes a raga for posterity. That is what I always say. So that freezing of the raga through a composition is very, very essential for it to get that particular shape, color, a kind of a distinct face of its own. And here, also a mention must be made to make it clear. Some may ask why Dikshadhar didn't compose any new ragas. So here we are only concentrating on Thyagaraja. And we should also understand that both of them, though they did invent so many ragas, they stand apart in terms of the school which they followed. One followed the Venkatamiki school, one followed the Govindacharya school. So there's a difference even in the conceptualization of the same raga for that matter. That's a different area of study anyway. So in today's theme, because of the fact that I have taken a singular composition in a particular ragam, you would also find you might be wondering what these ragas, like for example Keeravani, Charukesi, Subhapanturali. In these ragams, which have become so common today, which have become very popular today, but incidentally we see that even in these ragas, Thyagarajas seem to have composed only one particular composition. So these will also be a part of our presentation today. We begin our presentation here. I have actually made a plan in sense of making the whole concert so that wholesome, in the sense that we have tried to represent various melas and their janyas. Of course, it's not possible to cover all of them. So trying to look at some of the melas, some of the janyas, some of the permutation combinations, the melas from which he has composed or generated maximum number of janyas, like this different kinds of areas we have tried to kind of discover through this particular presentation. Kanakangi, Ratnangi, Ganamurte, these three we do have compositions, but still there is a doubt about whether that is actually the composition of Thyagaraja. So we are not going into the compositions in these ragas, but we start off with a very, very rare ragam that Thyagaraja has created called Shrimani. This is a janya of the second mela, Ratnangi, and I'll also be giving little bit of explanations because of the fact that what is the ragam all about? That also, if you can understand, then the process of enjoyment also becomes multifold. So coming from Ratnangi, we see that the Arohana Avarona of this particular ragam goes like Sa Re Ga Pada Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ga Ri Sa. So when I sang the Arohana Avarona, you must have seen or wondered, everything seems so unconnected. But that is where the genius of Thyagaraja lies, where this kind of particular Arohana, Avarona also becomes blended seamlessly into a beautiful composition. We'll now listen to Yemandune Vichitramu, a composition of his in the ragam Srimani. Yemandune Vichitramu, Yemandune Vichitramu, Yemandune Vichitramu, Yemandune Vichitramu, Yemandune Vichitramu, Ilalona Manuchula Lona Manuchula Yemandune Vichitramu, no Lona Manuchula कामदा सुलये करुणमाली मदिनी तामसं पूजेत दत्वमो बल्मुजु कामदा सुलये करुणमाली मदिनी भूमि संचरिरुचि भूमि संचरिरुचि पोटलियो बजुनो भूमि संचरिरुचि पोटलियो बजुनो तामे बेदलट त्यागराजनुद तामे बेदलट त्यागराजनुद ये मधुने विचित्र इल लोन मनुजुल That was a very rare composition, a singular composition in the ragam, Shrimani. We now move on to the next chakra, where we'll be presenting Dhenuka. In Dhenuka, again, there is only one composition of Thyagaraja, Teliyaleru Rama. What is very important here to observe in his creation is that before that, the mighty Todi is there, where he has composed almost 29 to 30 kritis. So to safeguard it from that mighty Todi and give it a distinct color is indeed a very challenging thing. And that I would say that Thyagaraja has done very, very deftly here, I would say. What you should observe here is that while the Todi Gandhara gets multiple hues and shades in his composition, we all know that Todi Gandhara is something very distinct, where through different sancharas we get different kinds of shades for the Gandharam. But here for Dhenuka, he gives a very flat and a very kind of a, not too much of a gamaka, I would say, which gives it a distinct color to become Dhenuka. And here again, we have to see that the only difference I would say in terms of the technical scale is that while Todi has got the Kaisiki Nishada, this has the Kakali Nishada. So how he also focuses on the Kakali Nishada to give that color of Dhenuka distinctly to us makes for interesting listening. We'll be presenting to you now Teliyaleru Rama in the ragam Dhenuka. Teliyaleru Rama Bhakti Margamu Teliyaleru Rama Bhakti Margamu Teliyaleru Rama Bhakti Margamu No Teliyaleru Rama Bhakti Margamu No Teliyaleru Rama Bhakti Margamu 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 Teliyaleru
Tirugu
So you would have observed here how so he gives that immediately. There is no iota of doubt. You're wondering where it is going to go. So that is where again the genius of the composer lies, where in the very first phrase he gives you the clear-cut picture of what the raga is all about. In this context, we could also say that the other such Melagartha ragas that he has composed in Dhenuka, of course we mentioned here, Vakulabharanam, Chakravakam, Suryakantam, Jhankaradhvani. Surprisingly, Keeravani also only one song is there. Then, of course, for the first time, giving an exalted status to the ragam Karaharapriya through multiple compositions. Gauri Manohari, Sarasangi, Vagadeshwari, Gange Bhushani. These are all ragas which Thyagaraja has given a complete shape. What I mean here is that what remained as scales in a Melagartha scheme become vibrant as ragas through his beautiful compositions. We now move on to the 16th Melagartha, Chakravakam. Here also another big challenge lies for Thyagaraja because of the fact that before Chakravakam is Maya Malagola, which is a very old ragam, a very well-established ragam, I would say, because we have the Sarali, Janta, all the initial lessons, everything we have in Maya Malagola. So, how to give a distinct color to this ragam Chakravakam as different from Maya Malagola was the first thing. So, he has created for us two compositions in Chakravakam. And among the janyas, we have Kalavati, Bindu Malini, Malaya Marutam, Vegavahini we have taken up today. Kalavati I am not taking up because there are two compositions, though it's a very rare ragam. There are two compositions in Kalavati. And this Kalavati is not to be confused with the Kalavati of Dikshadhar or the Kalavati of the Hindustani music. All three are totally different. Okay. So we now begin with Bindu Malini, moving on to Malaya Maratham and Vegavahini. Just for your information, this Bindu Malini again is a very beautiful ragam, a Vakara ragam, but then again it has got a very beautiful melody of its own. So, Sagari Gama Pani Sa Sani Sada Paga Malaya Marutam, and then we move on to Vegavahini. Malaya Marutam, sa re ga pa da ni sa ni da pa ga re sa. Vegavahini again, coming to Dikshadhar school, this is quite different in terms of the Sancharas. If you see, it's quite different from the Vegavahini of Dikshadhar. And again, from Chakravakam also, there is only a minor difference in the sense that sa re ga ma pa da ni da sa, that particular phrase only defines this Vegavahini of Thyagaraja, because the Avaronam again is Sampurna. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So let us now look at the three compositions in the janyas of Chakravakam, the singular compositions of Sri Thyagaraja. Yenta mudo yenta sogaso, 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 yavari vallavar nyupataguno, yenta mudo yenta sogaso, yavari vallavar nyupataguno, yenta mudo We now move on to the next ragam, Jhankaradhvani, and the only janya from it, Purna Lalita. Jhankaradhvani again is the 19th Mela. We'll probably listen to the song and then go to the structure.
Phanipati Shayi Mampahi, Phanipati Shayi Mampahi, Phanipati Shayi Mampahi, Phanipati Shayi Mampahi, Palita Bhavapriya गजवरगमना पंकजनयना गजवरगमना पंकजनयना सुजनवनवन सुन्दरवदना गजवरगमना पंकजनयना सुजनजनावन सुन्दरवदना गजमुख विनुत करुणाकर 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 नीरजनयन त्यागराज सदना गजमुख विनुत करुणाकर नीरजनयन त्यागराज सदना फणिपतिशायी मां पाहि पालिता पाहि श्रीरामा फणिपतिशायी मां पाहि
So being the 19th Melagartha, Sari Ga Ma Pada Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa. From this he has generated Purna Lalita Sagari Ma Pa Sa. Only the Arohanam has got that Vakra Prayogaram. Avaronam is the same as that of this Jhankaradhvani. Let us listen to this song Kaluguna in this particular raga.
Kaluguna seva Kaluguna Niraja seva Kaluguna Pada Niraja seva Kaluguna Padani Raja Seva Kaluguna Padani Raja Seva Gandhava Tanaya Kaluguna Padani Raja Seva Gandhava Tanaya Kaluguna Padaseva Palumaru Jojo Brahmanandudai Palumaru Jojo Brahmanandudai Palumaru Jojo Brahmanandudai Palumaru Jojo Brahmanandudai Parage Bhakta Gresharatanaku Parage Bhakta Gresharatanaku Kaluguna Padani Raja Seva Gandhava Tanaya Kaluguna Vekuvajamuna Nikaramuna Nidi Srikantuda Vrata Snanamu Jesi Vekuvajamuna Nikaramuna Nidi Srikantuda Vrata Snanamu Jesi Pakamulanu Shrirangeshuనికి అర్పణము చేసీత సీతాకరములచే భుజించి నిన్ను సాత్విక పురాణ పఠన సేయమనే సీతాకరములచే భుజించి నిన్ను సాత్విక పురాణ పఠన సేయమనే సాకేతపతిని సర్వధారుణి సాకేతపతిని సర్వధారుణి ప్రాకటముగ త్యాగరాజును తివుని గణ ప్రాకటముగ త్యాగరాజును తుని గణ గలుగుణ పదనీరజ సేవ గంధ వాహతనయ గలుగుణ నీరజ సేవ గలుగుణ పద సేవ
We now move on to the 33rd Melakarta, Gangeya Bhushani, in which there is again only one composition of Sri Thyagaraja, Evvare Ramayya. And incidentally, from this particular Melakarta, he has not created any janyas as such. So there is only one composition, and that too only in Gangeya Bhushani. We'll listen to a small alapana of this ragam before we present the composition in this.
Evvare Ramayya Nisare Evvare Ramayya Nisare Evvare Ramayya Nisare Evvare Ramayya Nisare Ramaya Pada Baba Gari Sari Gayo Dada Pama Papa Maga Mapa Maga Gamariyo Vare
Sari Gama Padani Sari 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 Dani Dapa Magamayam Vare
Nida Baba Padani Dava Bhagavare Pabhagavare Sari Gayo Dada Pama Gama Padani Sari Sari Dani Dava Maga Gamariyo Vare
Pada Papa Ma Padani Dapa Magamari Ni Sari Ri Ri Ga Gama Padani Sani Dapa Ma Gama Padani Sari Ri Sani Sari Gama Pama Gamari Ri Sani Sari Ri Sani Sani Dani Dapa Dapa Ma Pama Gama Padani Sari Ri Sani Sani Dani Dapa Dapa Ma Pama Gamare
Sari Sari
We now move on to a very important Melagartha, Natabhairavi. Of course, later on through the composition of Papanasam Sivan, it gained a lot of popularity, Srivalli Devasenapati and other compositions. But interestingly, Thyagaraja did not compose any composition in Natabhairavi as such. But he has composed, or rather generated, a lot of janya ragas from it. If you look at the older ragas, again this is a very interesting thing where the child is already born, but then it needs to be put under a family. So that is how the ragams like Bhairavi or Ananda Bhairavi for that matter, or Hindolam, which are all very ancient ragams actually. So the idea of codifying music has necessitated this kind of approach where ragams which are already born are trying to find a father for themselves. We call them Janaka in our term, but it's very again interesting. We call in Tamil Thai ragam, but when we call it technically in Sanskrit, they call it as Janakaragam. So whatever it is, father or mother, it needs somebody as an originator. That's the point here. So Ananda Bhairavi, Bhairavi and all are very, very old ragams. So they have been classified under Natabhairavi because of the kind of movement, the kind of notes that the ragam takes. But after that, we see that through again the process of permutation, combination, Thyagaraja has devised many interesting ragas for us. There are about 9 ragas that he has created from this Natabhairavi. We will sing the songs, and let me see whether you are able to identify the ragas.
Shri Rama Padmani Kripa Chalune 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 Chitani Kirave Shri Rama Padmani Kripa Chalune Chitani Kirave Shri Rama Padmani Kripa Chalune
ఎంత జూచిన ఎంత నేచిన ఎంత జూచిన ఎంత నేచిన ఎంత జూచిన ఎంత నేచిన ఎంత జూచిన ఎంత నేచిన ఎంత జూచిన ఎంత వాగలైన కథగా ఎంత బారలైన కదరాదులే ఎంత
சமுகன நில்வகல் குணா சமுகன நில்வகல் குணா சமுகன நில்வகல் குணா கமலலனா சமுகன நில்வகல் குணா கமலலனா
மருகேலர ஓ ராகவ 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 மருகேலர ஓ ராகவ
ராமனே நன்னாதுடனுகான் ராமனே நன்னாதுடனுகான் ராமனே நன்னாதுடனுகான் ராமனே நன்னாதுடனுகான்
ಚಲಮೇಲರ ಸಾಕೇತರಮ ಚಲಮೇಲರ ಸಾಕೇತರಮ ಚಲಮೇಲ ಸಾಕೇತರಮ ಚಲಮೇಲರ
ಮೋಕ್ಷಮೋ ಗಲಗ ಭುವಿಲೋ ಮೋಕ್ಷಮೋ ಗಲಗ ಭುವಿಲೋ ಮೋಕ್ಷಮೋ Don't know how many marks you all can give to yourself. Anyway, let me announce the ragas in their order. First was the Amrita Vahini, Suddha Danyashi. Okay. Sri Rama Padama, that was Amrita Vahini. Then Entanechina was Shuddha Danyasi. Then in Hindola Vasanta,
Rara Sita.
Then Kokila Varali, Samuga Anadil. Then Jayanta Shri Marugelara, then Jingla Anathodanagano, then Marga Hindolam Chalamelara, Saramati, of course, Moksha Mogalada, and the last one which she sang was in Naga Gandhari. We now move on to the next Melagartha, another beautiful one, Bhavapriya, in which he has composed only one composition. So we'll hear that composition and then move further.
Shrikantani Yadabala Dibala 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 Chalagangale Vada Shrikantani Yadabala Dibala Chalagangale Vada Shrikantani Yadabala Dibala Chalagangale Vada Shrikantani Yadabala Dibala Pakarinuta 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 Nivari Bala Pakarinuta Nivari Bala Pakarinuta Nivari Bala Bala Munu Deli Yagaleda Pakarinuta Nivari Bala Bala Munu Deli Yagaleda Shrikanta Niyadabala Dibala Chalagangaleda Kakadai Tyuneka Saramunaneya Kanjajastramai Paragaleda Kakadai Tyuneka Saramunaneya Kanjajastramai Paragaleda Shikaradvijulai 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 Dhanarungaleni Shikaradvijulai Dhanarungaleni Chintane Kudoche Demi Thyagaraja-Nuta Shikaradvijulai Dhanarungaleni Chintane Kudoche Demi Thyagaraja-Nuta Shrikanta Niyadabala Dibala Chalagangale Davada Shrikanta Niyadabala Dibala
All the rare ragas that he has taken, if you observe intently, we see that he has adopted a particular format in terms of what we call as the Deshadi Talam. So Deshadi Talam is something very, very unique to Thyagaraja. And if you look at the history behind it, you would have known that they were living, the Mumurti were living at the time when the Marathas were ruling our south here. So the bhajana tradition and so many things have influenced into creating this particular concept of a Deshadi Talam, which has got a very unique structure. Adu Ondrada Kirtanan solrom. But beyond that, there is a metrical structure within that, which you would have observed through many kritis. But the genius of the composer also lies that he does not just put like a formula for everything and just tries to create compositions. The mood of the Sahityam, what he is trying to convey through the lyrics, everything plays an important role in terms of designing the composition itself. So for example, here Bhavapriya is the 43rd Melakarta, and immediately we have Shubha Pantarali after that, where it's only one note difference between Bhavapriya and Shubha Pantarali for that matter. But see how now the complete color of that particular Shubha Pantarali is different in terms of the mood, the Kala Pramana, the compositional structure. Everything is in a new dimension. And that is where again I would say the genius of the composer lies. We look into only the Pallavi of a particular composition. Again, Shubha Pantarali, he has composed only one composition, Innalu Yurage. And Dikshadhar has composed two compositions in this particular Ragam, Sri Satyanarayanam and Pashupatishwaram he has composed. So being a singular composition, I'll render the Pallavi here. So you can also observe, because what we are trying through all these formats of thematic concert is to develop that intense sense of appreciation. It is not about entertaining. Our music is not just about entertainment where we just listen for 2 hours and leave the hall. There should be some takeaway when we go back. And that is like a big ocean is there, and probably when we leave the hall we can take a few drops from this, that's all. Because it's too mighty an ocean for us to even comprehend actually. So let's look at Ennalu Orage, where you see that Sarigama Bhavapriya Padanisa, only one note, Sarigama Padani Sanida Pamagare Sa Yennalu Rage Yundu Vajuta Yennalu Rage Yundu Vajuta Mo Yennalu Rage Yundu Vajuta Mo Yavaru Adigevaru Leda Shira Mayennalu Rege Yundu Vajuta Mo Yavaru Adigevaru Leda Shira Mayennalu So that gives a complete change of the canvas. You can see in terms of how just because one note got changed, he doesn't again put it into a formula and tries to compose. So that is where again he stands tall always. The most favorite ragam of Thyagaraja, of course, and the ragam to which he, I would say, is a pioneer in terms of giving complete a kind of a vast canvas, Karaharapriya. In Karaharapriya, which is the 22nd Melakarta, we see that he has composed about 13 kritis. And what is special about these kritis again is that in Karaharapriya especially you see that each kriti is a gem by itself in terms of the edupu or the starting point of the particular composition, in terms of the Kala Pramana, in terms of the Thalam, in terms of the internal structure of the composition. Every composition in Karaharapriya has got something new to offer to us. In Karaharapriya, we see that he has created about 17 janyas. And we can't be covering all of them, but we'll do a few of them for you to show you how, taking that particular scale, he has, through permutation combination, devised so many new ragas for that. We'll first listen to a small alapana of Karaharapriya before we move on to the composition. So in this context, I request you all to imagine the grandeur of Chakkani Raja with all the number of sangatis in it, to all these tiny ragas that we are going to present to you where there is only one particular composition.
Nagumo muganaleni najali telisi nagumo muganaleni najali telisi nanu brovara Shri Raghuvarani ganaleni
kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kavavaiyanu kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kavavaiyanu karuna samudra kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kavavaiyanu karuna samudra kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra kavavaiyanu karuna samudra kamalapta kola kalashabdi chundra
విడువరాదు నా చెయ్యి పట్టి 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 విడువరాదు
రాగసుధా రస రాగసుధా రస రాగసుధా రస రాగసుధా రస రాగసుధా రస పానమో చేసి రంజిల్ల ఓ మనస రాగసుధా రస
నాద తనుమనిషం శంకరం నాద తనుమనిషం శంకరం నాద తనుమనిషం శంకరం నమామి మే మనస శిరస నాద తనుమనిషం శంకరం నమామి మే మనస శిరస తనుమనిషం
వరదరాజ నిన్ను కోరి వచితి మ్రోకేరా వరదరాజ నిన్ను కోరి వచితి మ్రోకేరా వరదరాజ నిన్ను కోరి వచితి మ్రోకేరా వరదరాజ నిన్ను కోరి
So again, how many you guessed right? I don't know. Chinna Nadana, Kalanidhi, then Abheri, Nagumomu, Kamalapta Kula, Vrindavana Saranga, then Patti Uduva, Manjeri, Raga Sudarasa, Andolika, Nada Tanumanisham Chittaranjani, and the last one was in Swarabhushani. Of course, there are many more, but we don't have the time to do all of them today. But the point here is about how, again, the different colors, the different shades he's been able to give through permutation combination. And of course, many of you may be aware that Chittaranjani is a ragam which has got a very limited range. It's the same Karaharapriya, but its ultimate, the highest note it touches is the Nishada. So, Sarigama Padani Nidapa Magarisa. In the Charanam itself, he gives you the clue. Sarigama Padani Varasapta Swara. So again, that's the genius of a composer where instead of using the 3 octaves as he has used for Karaharapriya, he just takes Sarigama Padani Nidapa Magarisa and creates a beautiful composition within that itself. So that is aspect that I wanted to share here. We'll now sing Kantamani for you, which is the 61st Mela, and that has got one janya, Shrutiranjani. Let us hear both of them and then probably we can go into the construction of these ragams.
Palintuvo, palimpavo, palintuvo, palimpavo, palintuvo, palimpavo, palintuvo, palimpavo, bagaina pal బాగైన పల్కు పల్కి నన్ను పాలింతువో పాలింపవో బాగైన పల్కు పల్కి నన్ను పాలింతువో పాలింపవో ఏలాగు నడుకొల్లని ఏలాగు నడుకొల్లని ఏలాగు నడుకొల్లని ఏలాగు నడుకొల్లని మేచపని లేదు నాపైని ఏలాగు నిన్నాడుకున్ననేర మేచపని నాపైని పాలింతువో పాలింపవో బాగైన పల్కు పల్కి నన్ను పాలింతువో పాలింపవో పరమార్థమగు నిజ మార్గమును వరదేశి కుండన తీయగా పరమార్థమగు నిజ మార్గమును వరదేశి కుండన తీయగా పరిపూర్ణము పరిపూర్ణము భక్తి మార్గమే పరిపూర్ణము భక్తి మార్గమే పరిపూర్ణము భక్తి మార్గమే అని భావించి త్యాగరాజుని పరిపూర్ణము భక్తి మార్గమే అని భావించిన త్యాగరాజుని పాలింతు ఓ పాలింపవో బాగైన పల్కు పల్కి నన్ను పాలింతువో పాలింపవో పాలింతువో పాలింపవో
Shrutiranjani.
Ye dari sancharintura Ye dari sancharintura Ye dari sancharintura Balkara ye dari sancharin అన్ని తానను మార్గమున జనితే అన్ని తానను మార్గమున జనితే నన్ను వీడని భారమని ఎంచేవు అన్ని తానను మార్గమున జనితే నన్ను వీడని భారమని ఎంచేవు తను బ్రోవర సదాయడే
Another major ragam which was turned from a scale to a beautiful ragam by Thyagaraja was Harikambodhi, where he has given us very grand compositions, I would say, about 11 kritis in Harikambodhi. And out of that he has generated about 22 janyas for us. Among the janyas, some like Narayani, Kokiladhwani, Chaya Tarangani, Navarasa Kannada, Ravi Chandrika, Raga Panjaram. These are all definitely very rare ragams. But even this, he has composed two compositions. So we are not taking them into our presentation now. Again, for example, Balahamsa, which is supposed to be a very rare raga at that time, he has composed 8 compositions. So now we'll be presenting to you a garland of janyas from Harikambodhi, where Thyagaraja has given us only one particular composition. Again, time for you to sit back and to find out what these ragas are.
ఎంత వేడుకుందు రాఘవ ఎంత వేడుకుందు రాఘవ ఎంత వేడుకుందు రాఘవ ఎంత వేడుకుందు రాఘవ పంత మేలరా పంత మేలరా ఓ రాఘవ 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 పంత మేలరా
నిజ మర్మములను తెలిసిన వారికి నిజ మర్మములను తెలిసిన వారికి నీవలగించే దేమకోరమా నిజ మర్మములను తెలిసిన వారికి నీవలగించే దేమకోరమా నిజ మర్మము
അഭിമാനമെന്നടുകൽഗുണൂര അഭിമാനമെന്നടുകൽഗുണൂര അഭിമാനമെന്നടുകൽഗുണൂര
ನೆಂದು ವೇತುಕುತುರ ಹರಿನೇ ನೆಂದು ವೇತ ಕುತುರ ಹರಿನೇ ನೆಂದು ವೇತ ಕುತುರ ಹರಿನೇ ನೆಂದು ವೇತ ಕುತುರ ಹರಿನೇ ನೆಂದು ವೇದ ಕುತುರ ಹರಿನೇ ನೆಂದು ವೇದ ಕುತುರ
ಸರಸ ಸಾಮದಾನ ವೇದ ದಂಡ ಚತುರ ಸರಸ ಸಾಮದಾನ ವೇದ ದಂಡ ಚತುರ ಸರಸ ಸಾಮದಾನ ವೇದ ದಂಡ ಚತುರ ಸಾಟಿ ದೇವ ನೇ ಬ್ರೋವೇ ಸರಸ ಸಾಮದಾನ ವೇದ ದಂಡ ಚತುರ ಸಾಟಿ ದೇವ ನೇ ಬ್ರೋವೇ ಸರಸ ಸಾಮದಾನ
ರಾಗಲಯ ನ್ಯುಲುತ ಮನುಜು ರಾಗಲಯ ನ್ಯುಲುತ ಮನುಜು ರಾಗಲಯ ನ್ಯುಲುತ ಮನುಜು ವದರೇ ರಯ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ರಾಗಲಯ ನ್ಯುಲುತ ಮನುಜು ವದರೇ ರಯ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ರಾಗಲಯ ನ್ಯುಲುತ ಮನುಜು
ವಿನನ ಹಸಕೊನ್ನಿಯುಳ್ನಾನುರ ವಿಶ್ವರೂಪುಡೈನ ವಿನನ ಹಸಕೊನ್ನಿಯುಳ್ನಾನುರ ವಿಶ್ವರೂಪುಡೈನ ವಿನನ ಹಸಕೊನ್ನಿಯುಳ್ನಾನುರ ವಿಶ್ವರೂಪುಡೈನ ವಿನನ ಹಸಕೊನ್ನಿಯುಳ್ನಾನುರ
ಬ್ರೋಭರಮ ರಘುರಾಮ ಬ್ರೋಭರಮ ರಘುರಾಮ ಬ್ರೋಭರಮ ರಘುರಾಮ ಭುವನಮೆಲ್ ವೈನೋಗಣಿ ಬ್ರೋಭರ
నెనరుంచినాను అన్నిటికి నెనరుంచినాను అన్నిటికి నెనరుంచినాను అన్నిటికి నీ దాసుడని నేను నీదుపై నెనరుంచినాను అన్నిటికి నీ దాసుడని నేను నీదుపై నెనరుంచినాను
అభిమానములేదేమి అభిమానములేదేమి అభినయ వచనములాడేదేమి అభిమానములేదేమి అభినయ వచనములాడేదేమి
నన్ను కన్న తల్లి నా భాగ్యమా నన్ను కన్న తల్లి నా భాగ్యమా నన్ను కన్న తల్లి నా భాగ్యమా నారాయణి ధర్మాంబికే నన్ను కన్న తల్లి నా భాగ్యమా నారాయణి ధర్మాంబికే
రమించువారెవరురా రఘోత్తమానిను వినా రమించువారెవరురా రఘోత్తమానిను వినా రమించువారెవరురా రఘోత్తమానిను వినా శమాది షట్గుణగణ సకల భువన జనుల
that was indeed a beautiful bouquet, I would say, that Thyagaraja has given us to us in Harikambodi. Yenta Veduko, Saraswati Manohari, Nijamarmumulananu, Umabharanam. The next was in Kunjari. Abhimanam. Then Karnataka Behag, Kapi Narayani Saraswamadana, Senju Kambodi Vararagalaya. Then Pratapa Varali, that was the rare composition she presented. Then Bahudari Brovabharama, then Malavi Nenaruchara. Then Andali, that one which she presented was Andali, Abhimanamu, that composition. Then Kesari or Sindhu Kannada, both are the names used for this composition, Nannu Kannatalli. And finally Suposhini, which was presented. So in Suposhini especially, you could have seen that it is a very basic scalar kind of a movement. It's not filled with the kind of gamakas that a Harikambodi warrant, like in terms of an Entara Nidana. So Sari Sa Ma Padani Sa Sadani Pa Mari Ma Sari Sa. So this is the scale he has used to create this particular Ragam Suposhini. Similarly in Shankarabharanam also there are many janyas he has created, but we'll skip that today for today. He has composed 32 songs almost in Shankarabharanam, and some of the janyas that he has taken are very old ragams where you have multiple compositions, like Arabi, where you have 14 compositions, Athana again 14 composition, Devagandhari 13 composition, Neelambari 6, Begada again 10 composition, Bilahari 10, and even in a small ragam like Janaranjani has created 3 compositions. And just for your information, ragams like Kolahalam, Garudadhwani, Vivardhani, which are janyas of Shankarabharanam, there are 1 composition each. Keeravani again, the 21st Mela that he has taken, probably again only 1 composition, but he has given so much of life to this ragam through that particular singular composition, which I would say is a revelation of sorts in many ways. First thing, giving the status of a Rendigala Kirtana, which means that a lot of gamakas have to be employed. Then the Vilambita Kalam, which gives scope for exploration of each note in its different facets. So many things come into being when we talk about this Keeravani here. And in Keeravani, interestingly, he has created only 2 ragams. One is Kalyana Vasantam and another is Kiranavali. Again in Kalyana Vasantam there are 2 compositions, and Kiranavali, though it's a very rare ragam, he has created 2 compositions again. So we will not be singing that today. But Keeravani, which has become a very, very important ragam in the post-Trinity period, again we give credit to Thyagaraja for giving it that scope. You know, the composer actually opens up vistas for us in terms of how a raga can be explored. So the composition becomes a very important tool for understanding that particular ragam. Here I will just sing to you the Pallavi, and this is my own thought. So just I want to share with you. While I was singing, it just came to me, so I just want to share how the particular first line itself gives you the complete opening of Keeravani in a very distinct way. Only the first line of the Pallavi I'll sing for you. Kalige yunte gadaya galgo no kavita phala da We all know that the Arona is Sari Gama Padani Sa Sani Da Pa Magari Sa. See how the melody just kind of follows this Arohanam, like starting on Sa, Kalige Yunte Ri Gada Ga gada gal ma gal go no pa no. Next dha kamita phala dada ani asa kamita phala So wherever we go, we have to come back home. So he goes up to the Tarasa, but then Sani da Babagari sa back home. So this how Kali, again it gives a clue about how to go about the ragam. Re straight. Ga ma pada ni sa. So the entire structure of the ragam is given in the opening phrase itself for us to understand. I just wanted to share that with you here. Coming to popular ragam that we know of today, Nalina Kanti. It is said to be a janya of Sarasangi, Shankarabharanam, either way because of the fact that there is no Dhaivata. So sometimes it happens that as ragam can be classified under 2 or 3 melas and still it remains a dispute as to which ragam it falls into. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful creation of Thyagaraja where Sagari ma panisa sani pamagari sa. So a contrast from Shankarabharanam, if you take it as a janyam, you can see that Shankarabharanam is a very grand ragam, a slow ragam with a lot of so much gamakas, whereas Nalina Kanti is much more plain and kind of, it's a very happy, jolly go kind of a moment that he has made through this particular composition. So let's listen only to the Pallavi of this composition.
Manavyalakim charadate Manavyalakim charadate Manavyalakim charadate Manavyalakim charadate Manavyalakim charadate Marmamelladil Dane manasa manavyalakim charadate marmamelladil Dane manasa manavyalakim charadate marmamelladil Dane manasa manavyalakim charadate.
That was a kind of a glimpse into that ragam. The next important ragam, as I said earlier also, Maya Malagaula, that he has taken up, in which he has composed 4 kritis. And what I want you to observe here is that while Maya Malagaula is a very Rakti ragam with so much of gamakas, the ragas that he generated out of it seems to have a totally kind of a very distinct color from that. So sometimes you even think, oh, is it the janya of this? Like that kind of a color he has given to these particular ragas that he generated, like Regupti, Guntakriya, Bauli. Let's hear a few snatches of compositions in this particular janya of Maya Malagaula.
Graha balame mi Shri
Nimpatarama Intanu chuvar nimpatarama Rama Intanu చువర్ణింపతరమా రమా ఇంతను చువర్ణింపతరమా రమా బ్రహ్మేంద్రాదూల కైనగిల్తను చువర్ణింపతరమా రమా బ్రహ్మేంద్రాదూల కైనగిల్తను చువర్ణింపతరమా
మేలుకోవయ్యమం మేలుకో రామా మేలుకోవయ్యమం మేలుకో రామా మేలైన సీత సమేతన భగవా మేలుకో వయ్యమం మేలుకో రామా మేలైన సీత సమేతన భగవా మేలుకో వయ్యా Another ragam, very interesting ragam that he created for us, which has become so popular and common now, Ranjani. Ranjani is a derivative of Dharmavati, the 59th Melagartha. But again, interestingly, he did not compose any composition in Dharmavati as such. And later composers like we have Bhajana Radha and other compositions you would have seen coming later. And of course, Kotishwara Iyer, having composed in all the 72 Melagartha, obviously is composed in Dharmavati as well. But Thyagaraja, he brought out this beautiful ragam, Ranjani. Here again, while we have seen that in other compositions or other ragas, I would say, giving or leaving out some notes here and there through permutation combination he created. Here we see that it is a symmetry in the sense of being Audava with 5 notes in the ascent and the descent. But the notes taken in the ascent and the descent are totally, or rather quite different, I would say, in the sense that Sa Re Ga Ma Dha Sa Sa Ni Da Ma Ga Sa. So the Rishabha is taken in the Arohana, it is left out in the Avarohana. Similarly, the Nishadam is left out in the Arohanam and taken in the Avarohanam. So through this permutation combination of two, both being Audava but having different sets of notes, he created this Ranjani for us. I would also like to draw your attention to the one singular derivative from this he created, the Hamsanadam, where again you have to see how he wanted to give us two beautiful pictures. Ranjani being a Panchama Varjya Ragam, whereas in Hamsanadam we see that the Panchama becomes the predominant note, like Sa Re Ma Pa Ni Sa Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa. So the whole Ragam itself, if you look, it revolves or it evolves around the Panchama, whereas the Ranjani is a totally different color, where you see that by making it Panchama Varjya, he gives you a different color altogether. We'll now listen to a very popular composition, Durmarga Charachara, in this particular ragam, followed by the most popular composition in Hamsanadam, Banturi Thikol.
Durmarga Charadhamulanu Doranivana Jalara Durmarga Charadhamulanu Doranivana Jalara Durmarga Charadhamulanu Doranivana Jalara Durmarga Charadhamulanu Doranivana Jalara Durmarga Charadhamulanu Doranivana జాలరా దుర్మార్గచరధములను దొరని వనజాలరా ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము దేవముని వై ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము దేవముని వై ఉండగ ధర్మాత్మక ధనధాన్యము దేవముని వై ఉండగ దుర్మార్గచరధములను దొరని వన పలుకుబోటిని సభలోన పలుకుబోటిని సభలోన పతితమానవులకొసగు పలుకుబోటిని సభలోన పతితమానవులకొసగు పలుకుబోటిని సరిగమ పలుకుబోటిని
సని నమగ సరిగమ పలుకు దసరిగ సరిద సని నిదమ పలుకుబోటి
మదసని దసరి గరి సని దగరి సాని మగ గమద పలుకుబోటి మగ సరి సరిగ మద మదరి సరి దసరి సరిగ మద గసని దసరి గరి సని దగ గరి సని ద మగ మద మద సరి సరి సని గరి సని దరి సని ద మసని ద మగ సరి గమద సరి గరి సరి గమద మగ మద సరి మగ గరి సని దరి సని ద మ సరి గమద పలుకుబోటిని సబలోన పతితమానవులకొసగు కలులనే చట పొగడని శ్రీకర త్యాగరాజ వినుత కలులనే చట పొగడని శ్రీకర త్యాగరాజ వినుత దుర్మార్గచరధములను దొరని వన జాలరా దుర్మార్గచరధములను దొరని వన జాలరా
ಬಂಟು ರೀತಿ ಕೋಲು ವೀರವಯ್ಯ ರಾಮ ಬಂಟು ರೀತಿ ಕೋಲು ವೀರವಯ್ಯ ರಾಮ ಬಂಟು ರೀತಿ ಕೋಲು ವೀರವಯ್ಯ
Among the Shuddha Madhyama and Pratimadhyama ragas that Thyagaraja has created again, I would say that about 75 to 80% is Shuddha Madhyama ragas, janyas from that. And Prati Madhyama is probably about 20 to 25%. Again, here also we see that why, when there are 36 Shuddha Madhyama Melakartas and 36 Prati Madhyama Melakartas, what could be the reason if we try to analyze? The scope of the Shuddha Madhyama in terms of its different hues and colors are much more compared to the Prati Madhyama. So for example, if you take Shankarabharanam itself, you can see how many shades of the Madhyama are there, or a Begada. So giving different colors or simply a plain Madhyama. So there are different ways in which the Shuddha Madhyama can actually be approached. When you are having a Panchama Varjya Ragam, again the Madhyama becomes a different color. Whereas the Prati Madhyama probably, to my understanding, has got two connotations or approaches. One is on its sthana. The second is attached to the Panchama. So when it's a Panchama Varjya Ragam like Madha, it has to be like that. Or if it is like a Varali, Pama, where it clings to the Panchama. So there are two possibilities here, but Shuddha Madhyama actually offers much more scope in terms of its gamut of Gamaka. So probably that could be one of the reasons why he has attempted. We all only can think and probably assume things because we have not lived at the time when Thyagaraja was there. So, and also the question also comes as to whether he did think of all the Melagartas and then compose the janyas, or whether it came as a spontaneous spur of the moment. But whatever it is beyond devotion to my understanding, because there is so much of science in the way he has created all these ragams, the permutation combinations, a fine understanding of the not only the scale, the note, but also the tone. That is very important. The tones in between the notes. Only when you have a deep understanding of that, you can create so many different colors of ragas for us. We move on to another Pratimadhyama ragam, Vachaspati, in which he has created the one composition again, Kanta Judumi, followed by two janyas from that, Saraswati and Bhushavali from that. So we'll just probably sing two lines of each of this particular ragas composition, where Vachaspati, as you know, is Sari Ga Ma Padani Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Kanta Judumi, Kanta Judumi, Oka Parikre, Kanta Judumi, Oka Parikre, Kanta Judumi, Oka Parikre, Kanta Judumi.
We now move on to almost coming to the end. So we have another very beautiful ragam, Naga Nandini, which is known as Nagabharanam in the Dikshadhar school, the 30th Mela. And in that again, a very beautiful scale he has created, Gambira Vani. So let us listen to these two compositions and then probably go into the scale. Naga Nandini first.
Satale nidina muvachena Satale nidina muluvachena Satale nidina muluvachena Satale nidina muluvachena Satale nidina muluvachena Satale nidina Munuvachena Sataleni Dina Munuvachena Sataleni Dina Munuvachena Sataleni Dina Munuvachena
Sadamadin Talatugadara Sadamadin Talatugadara Sadamadin Talatugadara Sadamadin Talatugadara Sadamadin Talatugadara Muda Sadanata Jadhipade Sadamadin Talatugadara Muda Sadanata Jadhipade Sadamadin Talatugadara.
So from Naganandani, the ragam created Gabbiravani. Sagapama padani sa sadapamaga resa. So that heart of the ragam, like sada, that you would have heard in that composition being reiterated each time. So that is also another very unique feature where, knowing what is the heart of the ragam or the key of the ragam, he keeps on reiterating that particular phrase for us each time. So though this is not a Eka kriti raga, for example, if you take the Kiranavali, which is different from Kiravani, sa re ga ma pa da ni sa pa ma ga re sa is Kiranavali. So sa pa, that is the key phrase of that particular ragam. So you see that everywhere, whether it's the Pallavi or the Anupallavi or the Charanam, this particular phrase in different octaves gets repeated each time, so that you also get to know that it is something related to Kiravani, but it is not Kiravani. So opening phrase itself, in every composition, that is something we have to really enjoy, I would say. So, Yeti yochanalu sapa magari gari, or Brova Bharama, Brova Bharama, Padani Pamaga, Maruga, Nama Pamagasa. So you must be thinking somewhere it's related to Hindolam, but where that Panchama is the most important thing which differentiates it from the Hindolam. So in the first phrase itself you would see Maruga, Nama Pa. Like this, any ragam you take, you would see that when a janya is created by him, he will give you that clear picture of what that ragam is as different from its Janaka ragam. And that is where again is the greatness of that particular composer here. In this context also, I would like to make a mention of Charukeshi, which has again become so popular today. But then he has composed only one composition, Adamodi Galade, in that. But incidentally, after that we have had Papanasam Sivan, Swati Tirunal compositions and many others who have composed, and also the fact that this ragam as well as Kiravani, which he has given life, have become very, very important core ragas of the Hindustani music also. So I think he opened up the eyes of many that it has got so much of scope. So now you also see that in Hindustani music, they take up Charukeshi and this Kiravani as some of the main ragas and elaborate it. One more point again in the idea of giving you a distinct feature is about, if you take the ragam Vijayashri, that Varanarada, there you would see that it sounds very much like Varali, so many places. So Varanaradhanarayana Smarananandanubhava Mogala. So he's also used the phrases of Varali like Sagarigama But pa, ni, sa, the daivata is not there in the pa, aronam as well as the avaronam. So the first phrase itself you see, varana, pamapani, so that pani, pani, that keeps reiterated throughout the composition so that you don't feel that it is Varali or any other this thing related. Like this you can actually go through all his compositions to see interestingly how the Janaka is the predominant thing, but while generating ragas from that, it is not just about creating a scale, but creating a whole gamut of a beautiful picture for us through a composition that he has given us. Now, to sum up this, of course, as I said, there are about 115 to 20 ragas where we have only one singular kriti of Thyagaraja, but today we were able to probably cover only a few portions of it. And but the point here is about, if you look at a larger picture as to what is the utility of these kind of rare ragas or this singular kritis that he has composed in these ragas, what is the purpose? If you look at that, we see that each of these compositions opens up a new world of ragas for us. That's the first thing. And we see that, as I said earlier also, a good composition is one which reveals in the first phrase itself the identity of that particular ragam, and that in every composition there is no ambiguity. Like sometimes when some musicians perform a raga alapana, you will be wondering, idu iduva, aduva, like that. So there is no question of iduva, aduva here. It's so very, very clear in the very first phrase that he hits at the key phrase of that ragam and gives you a clear picture. And also very important that unlike Dikshidhar, where you have very lengthy charanams and other things, he has almost stuck to a very concise and crisp kind of a composition which you saw in the Deshadi Talas, mostly a Madhyamakala tempo, where that Pallavi, again he has got a design for everything. So the Pallavi will be like capturing the Purvangam of the Ragam, and it may go a bit to the Uttarangam of that particular Ara, that is Madhyama Sthai portion. Then the Anupallavi would be probably, he'll be going the entire gamut of the Tarasthai, and the Charanam again sums up the Madhyasthai as well as the Tarasthai. So it is like, a beautiful essay that he creates for us through his compositions, where there's an introductory. In an essay we have an introductory paragraph, then we have the different paragraphs dealing with the subject in different ways, and finally the summary. So the same thing probably would apply to his composition, where a good essay like that, a good composition giving us a complete summary in a very methodical, logical and very sequential manner, I would say. And this Deshadi structure again that he created has been very, very useful, I would say, in terms of creating a structure for all these rare ragas that he created. And most importantly, if you look at all this, while till the time of the Trinity, we see that the major ragams were only handled like Todi, Kambodi, Kalyani, Sahana, Anandabhairavi, Dhanyasi, all the kind of Riti Gola, the Rakti kind of ragas. So he opened up another area for us where with limited number of notes, permutation, combination, he created new ragas. Now, today if Carnatic music has spread so wide and become so large, we would also attribute it much to Thyagaraja, who gave us so many ragas as such, like, this all that is created. So now, if the artist takes credit for creating, suppose he takes a ragam like Sindhu Kannada and tries to elaborate it, of course, due credit to the musician, but then the roots of how that raga goes about, what is the movement of the ragam, where it should stop, how it should start, what is the range, everything he has given us through his composition. So that way in the area of Manodharma also we could say that all these compositions have been very, very helpful to us. Thus we could say that in short, the Eka Kriti ragas have shown a new avenue in the realm of creativity, and thus it has added much, one side quantitatively, another side qualitatively also. Once again, I would like to thank. Before we sing the Mangalam, I would like to first express my thanks to Sri Arkay Ramakrishnan sir for mooting this idea for me, because I am one who is a lover of thematic concerts, but he said this particular theme only you should do, and he gave me a lot of time also. Thanks for your patience, sir. So once again, thanks to him for giving us this beautiful theme to explore. Of course, we can do at least 5 more episodes on this particular theme, but with a limited time span, whatever we could cover, we did. I'm extremely thankful to Padmashree Srinivasan and Srividya Vadlamani for their valuable contribution. In fact, I would say that it is their interest and involvement that made me travel so much, because unless we have co-artists who also show great interest and dedication, things don't work. And of course, a very enterprising violinist here, Gayathri, Vibhavari, and my husband, Sri Mudhra Bhaskar here on the Mrudangam. May I request you to say a few words, sir, please.
Lorku Namaskaram. First, a big applause to Dr. Radha Bhaskar and the team. She has already introduced the two wonderful singers, Padmashree, Srinivasan and Srividya. Of course, Gayathri on violin and Bhaskar on this. As a Rasika, I am a Rasika basically. So, when you started singing so many songs, everybody without telling the raga, everybody was, the face was very bright. They were very happy to say, I have heard this, what is this raga and all. So today we can say it is an Antakshari. Okay. See, on less than 2 hours, probably you heard about 70 plus songs. Where will you hear in a Carnatic concert like this? This is a very rare occasion, this. This goes to prove the value of our compositions or the kritis. That is very important. But of recent, what is happening, kriti is only a runway for me. I take off from there and I do whatever I want. If just to explain only few things, they used little swaras and little ragas. If they have sung only this 50 songs, we all would have enjoyed. So that is the value of our kritis. But people in music don't understand the value of it. So that as an organizer, I find it very surprising. One thing, in a concert, they can present at the most 10 urpadis. Or say 11 or 12 at the most, not more than 8 to 10 actually. I know I have been watching it. So they are in a hurry to present that kritis and they think they can show their vidvat in singing ragas and kanak in swarams. That's all right. After all, as a human being, you have to do it. But let's think of Arikudi Raman Jengar or KVN. After Varnam, they will sing at least 3 songs continuously. Or take Lalgudi sir, he will play 4 kritis continuously. Then he will go to the submain. He won't even play raga, won't even play anything. That has totally vanished. If that is vanished, how this Ekaika kriti will come into picture? Now, as an organizer, I feel we should organize concerts only based on Ekaika kritis. I think Ekaika ragas, lot of people have done, maybe Mudhra, they have also done it. I have also done 1 or 2 things. You take one Karaharapriya and cover as many composers as possible. That's a good thing. But Ekaika ragas, if it is Kantamani, Senji Kampodi or various other things, there is so much value, so much. We don't hear at all nowadays. Many people don't sing at all. I don't know. So, you too, at least as singers or people who are watching this, should make sure at least 1 or 2 such kritis are included. At least I will see you whether you will sing here. I will make a watch of it. You have to sing this. This is only the case of Thyagaraja. Then what about the rest of the people? So, there is, one time is not sufficient for you to explore all these things. There is so much so, and what is there to someone to say that I have done this, I have done in this. All great people have done and they have gone without mentioning, but whereas a lot of unnecessary noise is being made in the scene. That is one of the reasons I am trying to tell you. And these kritis that you have presented will give a impetus to the others to make sure that they will sing these things. As Rasikas, what you can do, you can go home and see what are the songs they sang, take a notebook and write what is Sanjikampudi, what do I get into Jingala. Otherwise, we always get this, we can't get the names properly at that time. This is the one way. Huh? No, it has to be here. You can't be watching, either write or you can't do it, You see, if you know the raga, as soon as they sing, that is a great pleasure for us, that we have to do it. There is a lot more thing I wanted to say, but it has given a excellent, you have presented it well, and maybe as an organizer, I will also think whether we should do a full concert. Okay. There are about, you are talking about 120 kritis, 100 kritis. At least 10 concerts we can make, I think. Okay, only on Thyagaraja this is happening. Then we have Trinities. There is so much to do yet. So there is a lifelong happiness for us. So much is there for us to do. So we enjoy music so much. What else you want in life? And that's why people, some of the... Lifelong, no. It's ultimately want to be. So you were all so happy. We really enjoyed it. We all were so happy to listen to so many compositions. I don't know, I would have listened to a beautiful Raga Alapana and followed by excellent. No, this gave much more happiness to us. So the kritis of Thyagaraja is such powerful, so valuable to it. But you don't understand. They think that it has come to us very freely and you just finish it in 3 minutes and go into the Naravel and then go to elsewhere. That should not happen, I think. And my friend always says that nowadays not all Rasikas are very well knowledgeable. So these people should not sing too much of Raga and especially too much of Ragas. I want them to sing more songs. So that is one way of doing it. But the kritis itself has given an excellent opening to us, and that has been proved here. This is a right forum for me to say this, express my opinions. We really enjoyed today's concert and hope we'll do more such things.
We'll conclude with a Mangalam. Of course, this is not a Eka Kriti Raga, but then Mangalams are all, there are many songs in the same Ragam, but we'll sing one Mangalam and finish off now. And as he said, this is only like touching the tip of the iceberg for us also. So hope for many more opportunities to be able to explore. And as he rightly said, I also say that no artist is ever greater than the art he pursues. This is my tag line I always use. So whatever we are borrowing only from those great souls who have left everything, given us unbountiful, and we are unasked, everything, whatever you could say. So we have to have the responsibility, I would say, in terms of keeping all those treasures intact. And as Rasikas, I thank all of you for coming here today. But as he said, it should be a lifelong journey of not only the artist but also the Rasika, because it's a two-way communication that happens in a concert. You're not just passively sitting there. We draw inspiration from you. So that way, I request you all also to keep joining this journey and enjoy our music to the best. Patiki Haratire in Surati.
Patiki Haratire Sita Patiki Haratire Sita Patiki Haratire Ati Brudutara Satya Bhashani Satva Bhashanuniki Akhilalana Natuniki Sita Patiki Haratire Sita Patiki Haratire Raja Vibhakara Rajana Raja
Thank you.